Trips to the top. Young to the middle. Pass is caught.
We're now halfway through the NFL season, and I think it's time to break down the most scrutinized position in the entire league. Heck, all of sports. That being the quarterback. Some of the league signal callers are absolutely lighting it up. There are quite a few out there, though, that are really struggling to find their footing. And a few, well, let's just say that they might be better off watching from the sideline. So today, we break down every NFL quarterback's performance through mid-year and grade them on a scale from F to A+.
Play fake. And here is Jackson. And Jackson is going to go deep. And this pass is going to be caught.
Arizona Cardinals, Kyler Murray, B+. It's been a mixed bag for the Cardinals this season, but it's hard to deny that Kyler Murray's giving fans a reason to believe. Arizona's offense has looked downright electric at times, especially when Murray's on the same page with rookie standout Marvin Harrison Jr. It hasn't been consistent, but Arizona has to hope that it will be. Because if these two can build chemistry on the foundation that is already turning heads across the league, it could be a game changer. They're capable of taking the top off of defenses, especially with the support of a ground game that is consistently pounding out over 5 yards a carry, placing them in the league's top 3. Arizona's record might be hovering around 500, but with the NFC West wide open, they could sneak their way into the playoffs if Murray can keep finding that spark. Atlanta Falcons, Kirk Cousins, B. Atlanta has found the missing piece in Kirk Cousins this offseason, despite all the doubters and haters that came flocking to their door. Fact of the matter is that he has brought an immediate boost to an offense that had all the potential to be explosive. Slowly but surely, Cousins has settled in and is now taking advantage of all the weapons all over the field and steering this team to the top of the NFC South. But now, the Falcons are sitting in the driver's seat in the AFC South and looking prime for a playoff push. Sure, they've had some unpredictable games, but when Cousins gets going, Atlanta's offense can keep pace with anyone. Baltimore Ravens, Lamar Jackson, A+. Lamar Jackson's keeping Baltimore right in the thick of the AFC playoff race, and he is doing it in his own unstoppable style. After a shaky 0-2 start, Lamar kicked things into high gear, rallying the Ravens to 5 straight wins and reminding everyone why he is one of the league's most dynamic players. Buffalo Bills, Josh Allen, A. The Bills are on a roll, and a big part of that comes down to Josh Allen's newfound discipline. This season, Allen's put a premium on ball security, throwing only 1 interception so far and helping Buffalo lead the league in turnover margin. Allen's not just airing it out, he is managing games and knowing when to take calculated risks. And the result? Buffalo's looking like a complete team, even without Stephon Diggs. Buffalo is built for a playoff grind. If he keeps this up, the Bills are as dangerous as any team in the league. Carolina Panthers, Bryce Young, F. Bryce Young's rookie season was nothing short of brutal, and, well, year 2 hasn't been much better. Got a feel for him, though. The Panthers are a team with issues at every level, and Young has taken the brunt of it. From injuries on the O-line to a lack of reliable targets, Young has been left scrambling, and it shows in his performance. Let's just hope it doesn't completely derail his entire career trajectory. Chicago Bears, Caleb Williams, C-. It's tough to fairly evaluate Caleb Williams because there are so many questions about Chicago's coaching and game management, which has continued to derail the Bears in critical moments. Williams is a promising talent, and with the right pieces around him, he could really thrive. But for now, it's a question of whether he can keep finding consistency in a system that feels shaky. Cincinnati Bengals, Joe Burrow, B. Joe Burrow and the Bengals are back to their slow start ways, and this time, the clock's ticking on their season. Burrow's connection with his top targets has been sporadic, but it looks like they may be starting to turn the page. Burrow certainly has the talent, no question about it, but Cincinnati's playoff hopes are slipping fast if they can't find some cohesion on both sides of the ball. Cleveland Browns, Jameis Winston, C-. Jameis Winston's Brown debut brought a surprising upset over the Ravens, but that's really the only bright spot in a rough season so far. His follow-up performance left a lot to be desired. At 2-7, I think it's safe to say that the Browns season is over. So, this is all about Winston putting tape out for GMs heading into next year. Dallas Cowboys, Dak Prescott, C-. Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb are putting up impressive stats, but the Cowboys can't seem to turn numbers into victories. Dallas is struggling to keep pace in a tough NFC East, and now that Prescott's health is in jeopardy, who knows what this year will turn into. Denver Broncos, Bo Nix, C-. Rookie QB Bo Nix is getting thrown into the fire, but he's starting to show some resilience. What's all the more promising for the Broncos is that while Nix is developing, the Broncos are starting to inch closer to playoff territory, albeit via the wild card, as they aren't about to dethrone the Chiefs here. Detroit Lions, Jared Goff, A+. The Lions are firing on all cylinders, with Jared Goff putting up MVP caliber numbers, all thanks to his accuracy and decision-making, both of which have certainly ascended to new heights. Green Bay Packers, Jordan Love, B-. Jordan Love has had his ups and downs, dealing with injuries along the way, but Green Bay's young core has stepped up, including his backup Malik Willis, who's helping the Packers tread water in a tight NFC North race. Houston Texans, C.J. Stroud, C+. The Texans' season has been way more of a ground than most expected, and C.J. Stroud has taken his share of lumps. He's shown resilience, taking hits behind a shaky line and still finding ways to make plays, but this is still a far cry from what we expected. Indianapolis Colts, Joe Flacco, C. With Anthony Richardson out, the Colts are leaning on Joe Flacco to keep things moving in the right direction for Indy. They've managed to grind out a couple of wins, but with the way that he played in his first official game after Richardson's benching, this team's future is anything but certain. Jacksonville Jaguars, Trevor Lawrence, D. It's been a letdown of a season for Trevor Lawrence. Expectations were high, but the Jaguars have stumbled, especially on offense, which has just been wildly inconsistent this year. Kansas City Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes, A+. The Chiefs are doing what the Chiefs do best, winning. And Mahomes is right at the heart of it. Yeah, sure, he's thrown a few more interceptions this season, but his ability to adapt and keep Kansas City in control is absolutely unmatched. Las Vegas Raiders, Gardner Minshew, F. The Raiders season has been a struggle for all involved, but perhaps none more than Gardner Minshew, who's played so poorly that he is at risk of losing his starting job to Desmond Ridder of all people. Los Angeles Chargers, Justin Herbert, A-. Justin Herbert is doing everything he can with limited weapons on offense, and the system is actually starting to take form for Los Angeles. Hopefully, this keeps up as the season continues. Los Angeles Rams, Matthew Stafford, B+. Despite a season that started with a string of injuries, Matthew Stafford and the Rams are somehow staying alive in the NFC West. With Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp back, Stafford finally has all the tools to push this team forward. Miami Dolphins, Tua Tagovailoa, C. Availability is the best ability, and Tua has really lacked that this year. Obviously, there are bigger concerns other than football in his case, but he really needs to step it up if he wants to get the Dolphins back on track. Minnesota Vikings, Sam Darnold, B. Sam Darnold's resurgence in Minnesota has been one of the best surprises of the season. He is playing some of the best football of his entire career, and the Vikings are reaping the benefits, which they badly need in a highly competitive NFC North. New England Patriots, Drake May, C+. It's been a rebuilding year in New England, but rookie Drake May is starting to show some of the potential that inspired the Pats to take him in the first round. May's raw, and he's making rookie mistakes, but he's got ability. This season is all about building for the future, and May is giving Patriots fans something to look forward to. New Orleans Saints, Derek Carr, C-. The Saints came out the gates extremely hot, but have fallen equally hard since. Carr's been dealing with injuries, but still, it just has not been great by any measure. New York Giants, Daniel Jones, D-. The Giants' offense has been a train wreck, struggling to even sniff the end zone with Daniel Jones under center. And their embattled QB has already been benched once as coach Brian Daboll searches for any kind of spark. New York Jets, Aaron Rodgers, D. The Jets had sky-high hopes coming into the season, and now that Aaron Rodgers was finally supposed to be healthy and starting for them on a weekly basis. But it's just been nothing more than disappointment after disappointment. Though the win against Houston in Week 9 showed some promise, the fact of the matter is that Rodgers' reunion with Davante Adams and this team as a whole just has not panned out. And that is all in spite of a roster that is packed with talent. This Jets team just cannot seem to get on the same page. Philadelphia Eagles, Jalen Hurts, A-. Jalen Hurts has the Eagles flying high as he managed to rediscover the form that led the Eagles to the Super Bowl a couple of years back. After a slow start this year, they're finally beginning to prove that they are the NFC's most balanced team. Hurts has taken command of the offense, covering up defenses with his arms and battering them with his legs, which has also opened up a plethora of opportunities for the Birds' new sports car, Saquon Barkley, turning out 100-yard games, thus making Philly's ground game one of the league's very best. Pittsburgh Steelers, Russell Wilson, B+. Russell Wilson has brought a new energy to the offense with his ability to stretch the field by going deep to George Pickens. And while it's still a work in progress, Pittsburgh's in a pretty good spot in the AFC North. If they can get the offense to continue to build on the foundation that they've laid since Wilson took over for Fields, the Steelers might just be a legitimate playoff contender. San Francisco 49ers, Brock Purdy, C+. The 49ers came into the season with high expectations after last year's strong showing, but things have been a bit shaky for Brock Purdy and company. Purdy has been thrust into a leading role, and while he's proved that he has all the tools to get the job done on a regular basis, the unfortunate reality is that the consistency just hasn't been there. And part of the struggle stems from a rash of injuries that have left key offensive pieces and playmakers on the sidelines. Without his full arsenal of weapons, Purdy's ability to orchestrate the offense has taken a hit, and his production has become uneven, mirroring the team's performance overall. Right now, it's all about getting back to basics, staying healthy, and seeing if Purdy can settle into the consistent force that San Francisco has been hoping for. Seattle Seahawks, Geno Smith, C+. Geno Smith is leading the league in passing yards, but turnovers are haunting him in the Seahawks, especially the ones at critical times in the game. Now, in his defense, we all know that the offensive line has been shaky, and it's making it tough for Seattle to secure wins in a league where the margin for victory is regularly extremely thin. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Baker Mayfield, B-. Baker Mayfield has been one of the unexpected bright spots for the Buccaneers over the past couple of seasons, injecting the offense with a level of grit and energy that they've really been missing. Mayfield arrived in Tampa with something to prove, and he is playing with a chip on his shoulder, putting up numbers, and, well, he is keeping the Bucs competitive in the two-horse race in the NFC South. Beyond just his play on the field, his leadership has been very evident, not just in the locker room, but also on the field. Beyond his play just on the field, his leadership has been very evident, both in the locker room and on the field, as he's racked up 27 touchdowns and has shown the resilience to hang tough in close games, even when the odds are stacked against him. Unfortunately, losing a weapon like Mike Evans, a deep threat who can outmuscle defenders and stretch the field, and Chris Godwin to boot, has really forced Mayfield to lean on the rest of his receiving core, which isn't quite as deep as Tampa would like. Tennessee Titans, Will Levis, F. Yeesh, it has been a painful season for the Titans, and rookie Will Levis is bearing the brunt of it. Turnovers are piling up, and without a reliable run game, the offense completely stalled out under his guidance. The only thing in his defense is that injuries really have not helped things, but Levis has not been able to adjust. The Titans have since turned to Mason Rudolph as Levis nurses a shoulder injury, which obviously is not a long-term solution. But the problem is that there's no quick fix here either, as Tennessee is in full-on survival mode. Washington Commanders, Jaden Daniels, A-. The Commanders have hit gold with rookie Jaden Daniels, who is electrifying fans with his dual-threat abilities. They're averaging over 30 points per game for the first time in decades, and Daniels has really shown that he can come up big in crunch time, kinda like he did in their Monday Night Football thriller against the Bengals. But hey, what NFL quarterback's grade do you think we got right here? Which ones do you think we got wrong? Was there any fact that we may have missed? Let us know in the comment section below. If you like this video and learned a thing or two, then hey, clicking that like button helps us out a ton. And you know, we really appreciate it. If this is your first time coming around to TPS though, then subscribing is a great idea because we put out videos like this every single day. But as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.